Welcome to KMET 1490 AM ABC News Radio and the Southern California Business Report with Yvette Walker, a show dedicated to highlighting successful Southern California businesses and the people behind them.
Welcome and thank you for joining the Southern California Business Report on ABC News and Talks, KMET 1490 AM, 98.1 FM, and KMET TV. I'm Yvette Walker, live blasting our signal from the center of Southern California, serving a population of over 25 million. Get us crystal clear and on demand by downloading the free live streaming app on Google Play and the Apple App Store. As always, a huge shout out to the team, Mitch, Bill, and Sean. I love you guys. And to our special advisory committee, Bill Morris, UCI School of Business, Jose and Camila Rubio, thank you so much. Today, I am just absolutely over the moon and thrilled to be introducing Mr. Dan Ouweleen. Dan is the president of PacMin. He is an incredible person. So let's get into it, okay? Please, Dan, tell us a bit about PacMin and what PacMin is.
Sure, absolutely, Beth. Thank you very much, and thank you for having me. PacMin is a company that's involved in the aerospace market, has been for over 75 years, actually. And what we're known for are these incredible mock-ups and prototypes that we do for the aerospace and aviation industry. Essentially what we do is we help companies that are in that industry, major organizations like Boeing and Gulfstream that actually build both the current and future generation aerospace products, and we help them in communicating their message through physical recreations of those aerospace products that they're going to be producing or are producing currently. And so major events that they put on around the world are what we help them support, and it's a very unique business and a super fun one to be in.
I can imagine. So what even led you to discover PacMin and get into the field of manufacturing?
Well, it's a little bit of a story. I grew up and went to college near Rochester, New York. And out of college, I actually landed a dream job in the semiconductor industry in the manufacturing of capital equipment used to produce silicon crystal. That's the basis for all your integrated circuitry today. And by my early 30s, I got to travel all over the U.S. and around the world selling this equipment, and which got me quite involved with manufacturing. It really was a dream opportunity. And however, I would say by my mid 30s, I was beginning to look for a new challenge. And I knew I wanted to be involved in something where I had more ownership and where I could create something of lasting value. And about that same time, my cousin, Fred, and my uncle got in hold of me because they had recently purchased this company called Pacific Miniatures out here in the West Coast, making aerospace mock-ups. And when I met with them and heard their incredible vision they had for this company and where they wanted to take it, it was a perfect fit in my mind for me to get involved at that time. So I packed up my family and I moved across the country. This back in 1991, and haven't looked back since. And I know back then a lot of people thought I was a little nuts or crazy, but it's been a wonderful journey, really.
Absolutely. So you mentioned that you create mock-ups and models of items in aviation, aerospace, and defense systems. Can you please talk a little bit about what that scope of projects actually looks like today at your facility, and also talk about the number of facilities that you have and where they're located, and maybe offer a little overview of which facility does what?
Sure, absolutely. Yeah, so we run the gambit in working in companies from, like you said, from commercial to military to aerospace, space technology. And some of the projects that we get involved with are really ones where they're trying to highlight new developments that they're coming out with. So new aircraft. We might be producing something that's showing you the inner workings of an aircraft, the inside of an aircraft. Or we might be building up even something that's a working model. And it all depends on what they're trying to tell their story with the model that we're going to produce. So we work with them in tight collaboration to figure out what's going to tell their story the best. And so these are things that can be anything from a small model that might fit on a desktop to something quite large that could be an exhibit size model to go to a trade show or even a full scale model. And we have facilities here in Fullerton, California. That's our headquarters. That we do most of our design work and engineering work and our pretty much rapid turnaround projects for the industry. We have a facility in Mexico where we produce a lot more of our higher volume product, standard product, and we have another facility in China that produces a lot of our super high volume, smaller models that are used throughout the industry.
Wonderful. So I had the privilege, and thank you so much for giving me a tour of your facility. It was absolutely gorgeous. And some of the models that you were building were so astonishing. They look more like prototypes in some instances, right?
Mm-hmm.
Especially when you look at the scale. When you mention that you could do full size models. How far off are you from actually going into the prototype field? I mean, really.
Well, what we build is very realistic looking, and in fact, the largest model we built was right before COVID hit. We built a full scale model that had 130-foot wingspan. In fact, it was so big we had to finish it in our parking lot.
Oh
It was
my
that
goodness!
large, and it was for a trade show, overseas trade show, of the largest drone ever built. And so certain aspects of our models actually do function. We may have things where we're having the elevators move, lights light up, but we're not in the business of actually building something that's going to go actually on the real aircraft. But in some respects, we're not far from it. We get the actual designs that are being used to produce the real thing when we're working here and producing the mock-ups.
Absolutely. And recently the US spending has dedicated $858 billion recently to defense systems, to the military. Do you anticipate any of that budget, benefiting you in terms of projects coming downstream and increasing the workload for PacMin as, you create all of these new exciting models for new aviation, aerospace, and defense systems as we come into 2023, 2024 and beyond?
I certainly hope so. For sure, this is spurring a lot of development in the industry, new defense assets. From new aircraft to drones to advanced weaponry, and we get involved really in all those areas of making prototypes. Especially for people that are new business development managers, and they're looking to get the word out early about this, what they're developing. We get involved with the Northrops, the Rockwells, the Raytheons, the General Dynamics of the world, and helping them produce something that's going to help them sell what they're doing to the world and to the defense community. And even we get involved with making what we call form, fit, and function models, which they're going to use to do sometimes testing of the real aircraft. So I joke around that sometimes you come here, it might look like we're a weapons factory because we have a lot of full-scale missiles sitting around.
It's absolutely remarkable. So you can make it full scale size, but what is the smallest miniature that you've created and that you are able to create at your factory?
I should have brought one here to show you, but it's about about 5 inches in size. So
my goodness.
We do things that are quite small, and those are usually used for general giveaways in the industry quite often. And so a lot of people think when you make something smaller, it's easier, but it actually can be more difficult when you start to miniaturize things and keep that exacting detail down to that small scale level.
Yes, and everything is exact to scale. So this whole thing is a complete science, and you have your graphic engineers, as you call them, to ensure that the designs meet, the specs of your clients, and everything is, basically condensed to the proper proportion based on all of those specs.
Exactly. It really starts with the engineering team, which we have a group of engineers that are CAD engineers, and they take that design that comes from our aerospace partners, and they have to look at how is that going to how are they going to be able to recreate a model at a smaller scale. So there's quite a bit of work that goes into re-engineering that original CAD that we get, so that we can properly produce a model that looks like the real thing, but at a much smaller scale.
Right. So, what are the technologies, or can you kind of, run us through what a basic project would look like and the technologies that are incorporated in providing those model systems for your clients?
Yeah, I'd be happy to. Well, it does start with typically nowadays CAD. I mean, in the old days when I first got started, we would get a set of blueprints and we would hand them off to model makers that would hand make the original prototypes that we would create a mold from. Today, it starts with CAD. We get the CAD from our customers, we convert that to something that we can either make a tool out of or a solid part out of. And we might use CNC technology to cut a tool or cut the parts, or today we might use rapid prototyping 3D printing systems to create a positive of the part, or a negative to create a tool. So it all depends on what we're going to be, how many we're going to be producing, the size of what we're going to be producing determines the kind of technology we're going to use in our tooling and in our production of that tool or that part. Because sometimes we're making only one of something, so we're not tooling it, we're just creating a positive of that. And then at other times we're creating a tool so we can reproduce it. And then from there, it moves to the fabrication side. So we need people that know how to do molding. We have all different kinds of molding that we do. We do reaction injection molding, we do fiberglass molding, we do soft tooling for certain things, and then we do injection molding. So we have all different kinds of molding technology. And then we have to have people that know how to take the part from the molds and do finishing work on them. So there's a lot of handwork still involved in getting it ready for paint and finishing. And then it moves over to where it's our graphics team that gets involved. So we have a lot of pretty large group of graphic engineers, and we call them engineers because they're taking what's out there in the real world and converting it to fit on a scale model. And we have to be very careful protecting that brand of our customers so it's properly portrayed at all scales. So our graphic engineers will design it so it's fitting properly on a three-dimensional object, and then it goes out to be printed so that we can put it on the model, and we use a variety of different print techniques depending on what we're doing, from digital printing to silkscreen printing to vinyl printing, depending on the type of product. And then the final stage is really where the artisans come in to tie it all together and put those graphics on the model that really get down to the fine detail of getting every little aspect perfect.
Well, that is quite the process, and everything is done in-house, correct? You don't outsource these different.
Pretty much. I mean, there's some things we do outsource depending on our backflow. Sometimes we'll outsource some 3D printing, fabrication, or we might outsource the cutting of a tool. But by and large, we're pretty vertically integrated. We pretty much can do just about anything here in-house.
That is remarkable. Are there additional technologies that you incorporate in providing these models for your clients as well, or that's the basic overview, right?
Well, there are some others. I mean, there's we have to, like I said, sometimes we have things that are working components, so we have to have electrical engineers involved with that, and then sometimes we do have to look at things that are going to be put in some different environments, and so we might have to do stress testing and whatnot to make sure it's going to hold up in that environment. So it can run the gamut of different kind of engineering vocations, from mechanical to electrical to industrial design. So it just all depends on what we're asked to do.
Right. And so when I visited your plant, I had the privilege of, kind of experiencing your 3D holographic projector, right? And it just blew my mind, because it took these models and these designs that you had created, and it basically brought it to life in a room, using light technology in a true holographic fashion where you could do amazing things with it. Please talk a little bit about that.
This is something I'm really, really excited about and passionate about us further developing. So We've developed several systems here that allow us to take a physical object, and in our case, so let's say a model aircraft, and we have a product we've developed, an app we've developed called Eclipse, that we can look at that model through an iPad, and it will snap a 3D, basically uh, complete skin onto that aircraft model through the iPad, and we can change the paint scheme on that aircraft in front of your eyes. We can make it look like you can see the inner workings of the aircraft. We can put it into a different AR environment while you're looking at it. We can even take a picture of you holding it with a different paint scheme that is actually on the model you're holding. It's a fun learning tool as well. It's also something that we see that could be a great training aid out there in the industry. We're just really getting started with it. And then we have our projection technology, which is what you also experience, where we can do CGI work for the industry, where we which is computer animated graphics, and we can actually put you inside of an aircraft, for example, where we'll create CGI of the interior of an aircraft, and with our projection system, we can put a projection of that aircraft on the wall, and with AR glasses and a wand, you can walk through the aircraft. We can also make it so the aircraft can come out from the wall, or whatever it is. It doesn't have to be an aircraft, but whatever item that we're creating. So it's exciting technology. I think it's going to be a wonderful technology for events and any organization that has a facility where they've sort of got a showcase of their products. So we invite anybody that wants to see this to come on over and visit us and take a look at our studio and what we're doing with it.
I love it. And so I'm looking to get a little bit of a better understanding of how the CGI works, because you mentioned the technology that you have with the iPad, where you can, take an image of any whatever it is that you're taking an image of, an aerospace item, an aviation, a plane, something, and create all new exterior, color schemes and things of that nature. But when you talk about the interior and the CGI modeling, is that something that is created from existing models, or is that all to specs of, information that your clients give you?
Yeah, so it depends. So we would, let's say we were wanting to show the interior of an aircraft. We would work with our customers to create CGI of that interior of the aircraft, and then we're able to import that into this program, and it basically fitted to the model that's there that they're going to be looking at, so that if a customer was to come up and look at the model through the iPad, and they could open it up and look at the interior of the aircraft, they could walk through all the different interior parts of the aircraft and see the different seating arrangements, or it all depends on what they're wanting to show. It could be a military aircraft. You're trying to show maybe some inner workings of the military aircraft. It allows you to just really get the customer more engaged, and there's a lot of evidence out there that having the physical item in addition to the AR capability, people are able to absorb information quicker versus just putting a VR goggle on. So they're actually interacting with a physical object, but having an AR world around it.
Wow, that is remarkable. Well, we do learn through all our senses, right? So the more we're able to immerse ourselves in that experience, the greater opportunity we have to, take it in, like you said. It's so exciting. And I was so happy to experience that, because you spoke about it, and I could, even thinking about what I thought it would be like, it was nothing like that at all. It was something out of Star Wars, literally, the technology. I thought, oh my goodness, I'm literally in Tomorrowland, right? Which is what it feels like when you go and you visit your factory. It feels like Tomorrowland at Disneyland.
Well, it's funny you say that, because it wasn't too many years ago where we had a whole crew of Disney folks come over. They had heard about our company, and they came over and did a tour of what we do here. And they were, the comments were like, "Oh my God, you guys are just like, what we do over in our fabrication shop over at Disney." And since then, we've actually partnered with them on a number of projects for Disney.
Very nice. So, I've been in the manufacturing field and business for over 20 years. It's actually where I started in manufacturing product development. And I have never come across a company that does what you do. Are there others that do what you do at PacMin, Dan?
There are others out there in the industry that do models and mock-ups, but only segments of what we do. There's nobody out there that I know of that does the broad base of everything that we do, from the small scale models all the way up to full scale mock-ups, including the AR work that we do and the CGI work that we do. So it's there you'll find some that are produce models for the consumer market, I'll call it, or the collector's market. That's not what we do. We're pretty much focused on the commercial market, and being able to help our customers, do something that runs from a small model on a desktop of their product all the way up to something that they're going to use at a big trade show, and keeping their brand consistent throughout and their message consistent. So we like to say that we can build anything.
It sounds like you can, right? You have the factory, you have all of the technology, the design software, the hardware, all of the extruders, and all of just the production elements necessary to create the components, right? The CNC routers, the whole 9 yards. And I had the opportunity to view everything, and I felt like a kid in a candy store, right? Because A, like I said, it looks like Tomorrowland. B, you see all of this just coming together, all the processes you can walk through, from the design team into the manufacturing, into the curing station where they paint everything and they dry everything. And, it all comes back again, which I really appreciated the workflow. And I also noticed, and you made it a point to put the design team alongside the finishing production team, right? And I was just curious, how has that enhanced or assisted and elevated your productivity at PacMin by doing that, right? By bringing those two seemingly divergent, right? They're independent. And in the past, you would see them in different departments, but the way you had them set up was magnificent.
Yeah, well, it kind of goes back to a journey we started years ago with lean manufacturing. We've been doing lean now for over a decade, and it was really through that we just got questioning why do we have these departments siloed the way they are, and we felt that let's try putting them together all in one space where they can collaborate more easily and communicate more readily, and it really has been a fantastic evolvement here with the company, because the amount of teamwork and camaraderie even that has occurred by doing that has been really incredible. And what I have found as a result is one of the real positives of it is mistakes have gone way down. Things that we used to cause rework have gone way down because the team is just much tighter knit and working closely together.
Right. So you brought the technical and the artistic side together, and those pieces are just art pieces, really. They really are art pieces. The fine details, the color schemes, the extravagant finishes, right? One of the beautiful models had such a beautiful pearlized fleck of paint that just it was so shimmery and beautiful. I thought, wow, these are art pieces, right? And each one so intricately created and developed with the working hands of your production line. And I'm going to call them artisans, okay? I'm going to call them artists, right? They really are. It's such a fine art. And I was just so privileged and thankful to have experienced that. So we're coming up on a break. And for those listening, I'm Yvette Walker on Southern California Business Report on ABC News and Talks, KMET 1490 AM, 98.1 FM, and KMET TV, talking with Dan Ouweleen, president of PacMin, taking us behind the curtain of the custom design and manufacturing of models for the multi-trillion-dollar aviation, aerospace, and defense industries, specializing in engineering immersive displays, articulating models, full-size mock-ups, 3D event projection, CGI rendering services, and custom engineering. When we return.
2 seconds, someone needs a blood transfusion. B, on the giving side, LifeStream Blood Bank supports patients in 80 Southern California hospitals. Call 1-800-TRY-GIVING for more information and to set an appointment.
City of Hope is driven to making a difference in the lives of people with cancer and diabetes. We accomplish this by conducting innovative research and providing outstanding care. If you or a loved one has received a cancer diagnosis, go to cityofhope.org to learn more about how our innovative approach could change your outcome.
Cal State San Bernardino is home to the only school of entrepreneurship in California. With globally ranked degree programs, you can start your journey today to become a successful entrepreneur. Learn more and connect at entre.csusb.edu.
The University of La Verne is rated first in California for alumni satisfaction. Learn more about accelerated programs offered online and on campus in La Verne, Irvine, Ontario, Burbank, or College of the Canyons. Visit go.laverne.edu. The University of La Verne. go.laverne.edu.
Hi, Ray Lance from the Diamond Center in the Claremont Village here. One of the coolest parts of a third-generation family business is getting to know the families we serve through generations. Once you experience our friendly service, our fair and transparent pricing, and our beautiful jewelry that we make to last a lifetime, you'll stick with us too. Come visit us in the Claremont Village or at Lantz, L-A-N-T-Z, diamondcenter.com and see what makes us different.
Ontario International Airport is onto a better way to fly with over 65 daily non-stop flights to more than 20 major destinations and the easiest airport experience in Southern California. Visit flyonto.com/Ontario to learn more about Ontario International Airport today.
Hi, I'm San Bernardino County Sheriff Shannon Dykes. If you're looking to start an exciting career in law enforcement and make a difference in your community, we are hiring dispatchers, nurses, deputies, laterals, and many more. For a complete list of our jobs and more information, visit sheriffsjobs.com.
Welcome back. For those listening, I'm Yvette Walker on Southern California Business Report on ABC News and Talks, KMET 1490 AM, 98.1 FM, and KMET TV, talking with Dan Ouweleen, president of PacMin, taking us behind the curtain of the custom design and manufacturing of models for the multi-trillion-dollar aviation, aerospace, and defense industries, specializing in engineering immersive displays, articulating models, full-size mock-ups, 3D event projection, CGI rendering services, and custom renderings. Thank you again for being with us today, Dan.
Thank you, Yvette.
Beautiful. Wonderful. Thank you so much. And so prior to the break, you kind of gave us, the general overview of what PacMin is, what you do. And we left off on the brilliant move to bring your designers and your finishing production team together and how that has benefited your company.
Yeah, it was a real, sort of an experiment that's gone very well. And it's really benefited, the employees and the teams, and it's amazing what it's done even for the culture. I think here in the company, people just really working closely together and not being siloed off in different parts of the company. And it's and the speed at which we are able to make things happen is improved greatly because of that, tight knitness that the group has.
That's beautiful. Oh, well, that's great. When you have those measurable outcomes to show, this change made a dramatic difference in these categories. And it sounds like just across the board, that very small change, paid dividends, basically.
Yeah, it absolutely did. And the biggest thing we've seen, as I said earlier, is we've seen, mistakes, reduced greatly. And years ago, we would, one of the things we had to attack all the time was rework. And we've seen a great decline in rework as a result of the team working closer together.
Right. And so rework would basically be taking something that has already been done and redoing it, right? Because there's something that was off
maybe a
about
graphic
it.
wasn't fitting right, or they might get the layout incorrect on a model, or it was all different types of things. And And that's part of the lean journey, is to get rid of what we call waste. And,
Right.
and by moving people together, I felt that we it really made a big difference in getting rid of what we consider waste in an operation.
That's remarkable. So you mentioned in your team of experts, graphic engineers, electrical engineers, and obviously production artisans is what I'm going to be calling them. What is it that you look for in your employees at PacMin?
Well, first I really look for, that they have a passion for what they're doing, and that they have a can-do attitude and a growth mindset. I mean, those are really important for someone that's going to work here. And kind of course, then they have to have the basic skill for what they're applying for, whether it's a graphics designer or a CAD engineer. But so much of what they learn here is on the job as well, and that's where that that they have to have that desire to grow, because we do a lot of development here with the workforce, and we like people that want to expand what they do. And we've had many people come here. We've got a lot of long term employees, been here 30 years or more. But we've also had employees that came in here and found that they had a passion to actually go out and build real aircraft, for example. And so and we love the fact that sometimes people find their real passion here. And it's okay if they move on to something else. So we really encourage growth of your career and your person while you're here.
Right. And so I'm just going to come back to the whole principle of bringing STEM based, engineering, technology models, and everything that encompasses STEM, and merging that with fine art and the arts, and what feedback that you've received as a result of that, right? Because I know you give tours to schools and
Mm-hmm.
classrooms to, encourage students to look at the world of STEM and art through a different lens.
Yeah, we worked with a number of the universities here locally and the school systems here. And when we bring the educators through, they're like, "Oh my God, you guys are doing everything that we're teaching the kids today." And, and how there's so many opportunities out there, in the workforce to, learn a skill and apply it. So, like you said, anything from science and math to, artisan work, handwork, um, to the graphic side, and to imagination. We have to have people that can really imagine and come up with new ideas to to help our customers express what they want to show in their community. So it really, we have all facets of that whole STEAM or STEM educational piece here. And we do have projects where we cooperate with the schools. We've had kids come in here and learn what we call Tinkercad, for example, and then they learn how to do their own 3D printing.
Oh, wow. And so they get to go and use your equipment and, tinker and play with it and print
Well,
something
we've
of
had
their
it
own?
more. It's been more on teaching them the CAD, the CAD skills, and then most of the schools around here today actually have their own 3D printing now. But it's teaching them, all the things that they can create. And we work a lot with interns. We do a lot of internships here as well over the years, cooperating with primarily the local universities.
Right. And so I just absolutely love the fact that you're integrated into the community. In fact, that's how we met, right? You
That's
also,
great.
in addition to being the president of such a remarkable organization, you also serve as a district governor for Rotary, which I'm a very proud Rotarian and had the privilege of meeting you at a Rotary event not too long ago, which is how we got to know each other and how I got to learn about your company, and was invited to your plant, and of course knew right away that you were the perfect prospect to come and share your story, right? Please talk a little bit about your role in Rotary and how that has maybe expanded your horizons, personally, professionally, in the community. What does that look like for you, Dan?
Well, it's Rotary is an incredible organization that's worldwide and really focuses on just doing more good in the world. It brings leaders together from all walks of life who are problem solvers and want to go out and make things better in their communities. And years ago, before I discovered Rotary, I knew that I was sort of seeking my own purpose beyond just what we do here at PacMin, and I knew that I wanted to be a compassionate, purposeful leader that helped enrich the lives of others. And it was back about 2007 when I discovered Rotary. And once I discovered Rotary, it was like that's the perfect vehicle for me to work in the community. So since then I've been involved in a lot of different programs and projects with Rotary, and from being the club president here in Fullerton of my own Rotary Club, and then ending up being in the district governor position. And district governor here, my job is to really help our 49 clubs that we have here throughout Orange County and Southern LA to do more good in their communities. It's really quite simple. We also have over 50 young adult oriented clubs in both the universities and the high schools, and I'm also involved with overseeing those and helping them grow and to do volunteer work in their community. So we're a group of over 1,700 people, leaders here in Orange County. They come together to do projects in our backyard and throughout the world. We partner with clubs all over the world. Rotary is in more countries than the UN. We're in over 220 countries, and we have 1.4 million members throughout the world.
That's remarkable. And you know what I love about Rotary is that it's in the perfect place and time right now. I tell you, I talk to people all the time and they say, Yvette, there's so much in the world happening. There's so much rebuilding we need to focus on, but I don't know where to start, where to begin, right? And so a club like Rotary is, I believe, the perfect launching point for someone that has the heart of service, that wants to integrate into their community and give back. Please talk a little bit about some of those projects that you're working on locally and what some of those more pressing initiatives are today at Rotary.
Well, in Rotary, we focus on quite a bit. We focus on, a lot with youth. We're very focused on helping youth in need throughout the community. We focus on, helping, those who are less fortunate, homeless. We have a number of different cause organizations that we work with, such as anti-human slavery, which is an issue here in our backyard and throughout the world. We work on environmental projects. Environment's a big cause in Rotary. And one of the biggest things in the world that we do is we fight disease. And we're very well known in the world for being one of the organizations that's helping to eradicate polio, which is it was rampant in this country back in the 40s and 50s. And through efforts of polio and the World Health Organization, we've now got that down to 2 countries in the world and about 7 cases or so. And this could be the first second disease ever eradicated from the planet. So Rotary takes on big causes, both globally and here locally. And back a few years ago, if I can give an example, when COVID first hit, Rotary here in our district decided that we were going to produce face shields to donate to the frontline medical workers. I mean, right when COVID first hit, and they were desperate for PPE, and that was a great opportunity for PacMin because we got involved with helping develop how these shields are going to get made. And then we opened our factory doors up to training volunteers and actually fabricating the shields here, and also training other sites around Orange County to produce these face shields that were being donated by Rotary. And at the end, we produced over 90,000 face shields during that time. And it was great for us because it kept our factory open, and it was great for the medical community. And and this all happened over about an 8-week time period. So that's what Rotarians do. They come together when there's a problem and we tackle it.
That's right. You mobilize and you address it right away. And that's the beauty of Rotary. It's so well organized. There, like you said, clubs all around the world. And there's a project for everybody. So whatever your interests are, wherever your heart lies, there's a project to be involved in and to participate and support as well.
Exactly. That's what I love about Rotary is, if you have a passion to help and do good, and want to be involved with people that have that similar passion and have fun doing it. We have a lot of fun in our clubs as well. And check out your local Rotary Club, which is almost every city in Orange County. If it's not in your city, I guarantee the neighboring city has a Rotary Club, and it's there's a lot of great fellowship, um, and it's also good for careers. It's a there's a lot of leadership skills that are developed. So if you're a younger professional getting started in your career, look into a Rotary Club, because it's great to get outside of work and do something else, to expand your horizons. And I wish I had gotten into Rotary 20 years earlier. Really,
It's a I love it. It's a remarkable organization. And so it's such a treat to be able to bring somebody so accomplished that is part of Rotary, that it supports Rotary, that can show, the successful business model for how to be successful in business and how to integrate into your community through a service club like Rotary. And you also supported another local service club, or it was an arts program. And, I fell in love with the beautiful heart, and I believe it was a fiberglass painted heart in front of your office. Please talk a little bit about that project and
sure.
what that was about.
So that was actually not a Rotary project, but my partner Fred, who's my cousin and CEO of the company, he's also involved in a number of organizations, and this was one where he connected with all the Arts for All the Kids here in Fullerton, who raise money to help fund our programs at the schools, which are terribly underfunded.
Right.
And they came up with this idea to build big, large, I mean, I'm talking large fiberglass hearts, and have them sent out to local artisans to paint, and then they would sell them at these different auctions. So we produced the tooling and actually formed the heart that they use to send out to artisans. And they're works of art. They really are. And so if you drive around Fullerton, you'll have to see a bunch of these in people's yards, and it's still an active program today.
It's absolutely beautiful. Yes, the heart that I stood alongside, I would say was probably about 4 feet tall by 3 feet wide, and just on a beautiful stand with a mural painted on it. And the specific one that you had in front of your office was beautiful because it had orange orchards on it, which reminded me of the town that I live in, which is Upland, right? Because we were known for citrus groves for many years ago, the sun-kissed groves. And so it was just such a beautiful serendipitous moment, like, wow, look at this beautiful heart, and you're integrating the community and it's got the orange groves on it. It was just such a beautiful moment that I enjoyed. But thank you so much for your heart of service and for making it a point to integrate and give back to your community, because it's so needed, especially today. And like you said, it's a great way to get out there, meet working professionals. And it's a great way also to network while doing good in your community and feeling good about what you're doing, right?
Exactly.
The events, the projects to give back to the community are just such a beautiful bonding opportunity, and an opportunity to really, in my view, kind of take joy from seeing joy in others, right? When they see the expression of generosity and thoughtfulness behind every project executed by these groups, especially Rotary. So thank you for that. So Dan, where do you see PacMin in the next 5 years, and what are you most excited about as we look at the future?
Well, when I look out 5 years from now, I mean, I'm very excited for the company, because I don't see any limitations to where this company can go with what we do. I mean, the industry we're in is expanding at a rapid rate, and the new technologies that are coming along are just opening up all different kinds of opportunities. I see us getting more heavily involved in the digital side of what we do, because it's really digital modeling at that point, and integrating that with even bigger projects, on a larger scale than we're even doing now. And I do see us getting more involved in, the potential of training aids in the industry. So there's all kinds of opportunity for this company going forward, and I think it's an exciting place for people who are passionate about aviation or aerospace to come, and are looking for you know a way to grow their own careers here, because it's a we like you say, we do you see all facets
Right.
of steam technology here.
Absolutely. And so, is there a particular portion of PacMin that you're looking to grow more than others? And what is that, element? And are you recruiting?
Yes, so it's really in what we call our studio side of
Okay.
business. We do a lot of standard products, standard models, but it's really in more of our studio where we're taking on bigger projects all the time. So like I mentioned, we built some full scale mock-ups. Mock-ups as cockpits, for example. We built trainer cockpits. So it's really the ability to do these larger projects for the industry that I see as an opportunity. And yes, we're looking for CAD engineers. We're always looking for graphics people. We are looking for fabricators, people who like to work with their hands and do fabrication work out of the shop, because that's where it all comes together. The engineers design it, we produce the parts, but then we got to assemble it, put it all together. So you got to people that love putting together, things like you might find even in people that love automotive would
Right.
love working here, because it's you're building something, and so we're also looking for accounting, customer service people. So we have quite a few openings now, and so I would invite you, anybody looking out there, to go to our website, because we do have that posted on our website, all the different locations that we're looking for right
That's remarkable. So, for anyone looking to reach out and pursue a career in your field, how can they connect to you?
now. Best way is probably through our website at www.pacmin.com, and that's where we have everything that you see, everything that we do on our website. It's a fun site to look around, because we do a lot of cool stuff, and like I said earlier, we're all about creating visually dynamic marketing tools for the industry that create a wow experience. And so it's like you come, there's not a dull day here, because every day is something different going through the plant that you've never seen before. So
Right, absolutely. And
yeah,
and honestly, the way you have the process from beginning to end, and the meticulous and exact, nature of the field that you're in, I see you being just one step short of going into manufacturing directly, right?
yeah,
And just maybe
yeah,
bringing in a larger scale printer. These printers can print some remarkable things. They can print in all materials, almost in
that's right.
metals. I mean, it's remarkable the things that can be done today with the technology, the programming, the creativity, and all of the resources combined are just really it just I'm
Doesn't
sure
work.
yes, I'm sure you can think of your wildest dreams, and how you see PacMin moving forward. So it's very exciting, and I'm so excited that you got to share your story with us. What are you most excited about in the coming years with PacMin?
Uh, I'm excited about just the possibilities. I mean, if you look at what our um, vision is, it's where imagination takes flight. And so it's not just about aviation and aerospace only, even though that's our main focus. So I could see us getting involved in, even helping, different industries, the medical industry, for example, other industries where you're trying to use those AR and CGI tools that we've been able to develop, as well as the models. So we're very focused on aerospace, but there's a lot of growth opportunities beyond just what we're doing today. And as you said, even manufacturing. I could see where we could even be involved at some point in manufacturing something that's possibly used in a real aircraft.
Wow. Well, I'm so excited, and I'm gonna keep you on the program next time so you can keep us posted and we can follow the evolution of PacMin and what great projects are coming down the pipeline. So thank you so much for joining us today, Dan.
Well, thank you for letting me be here. It was a real pleasure.
Absolutely. Such a privilege. All right, everybody listening today, don't forget to look for us on Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, and Instagram. Check us out on scbrtalk.com, and don't forget to download the free live streaming app on Google Play or the Apple App Store. Everybody, don't forget to save the date. On Thursday, March 30th, San Antonio Regional Hospital is presenting a State of the Region, an economic analysis and forecast from Manfred Kiel, a chief economist of the Inland Empire Economic Partnership and associate director of the Lowe Institute of Political Economy, Robert Day School of Economics and Finance at Claremont McKenna College, taking place at the Ontario Convention Center, with tickets starting at $65 before March 15th. Visit sar.org for details. That's SARH.org for details. And also check out the Southern California Business Report on YouTube, and don't miss my coverage of the 134th Pasadena Rose Parade with my friend Jose Vargas Ulloa, the Latino cyber guy, which I also had the privilege of interviewing you as well, Mr. Ouweleen. That was so much fun.
A lot of fun.
Yes. And so everybody, don't miss my interview with Fiona Ma. She is California's 34th state treasurer. She was elected on November 6th of 2018 with more votes than any other candidate for treasurer in the state's history. She is the first woman of color and the first woman certified public accountant elected to the position. The state treasurer's office was created in the California Constitution in 1849. It provides financing for schools, roads, housing, recycling, and waste management, as well as hospitals, public facilities, and other crucial infrastructure projects that better the lives of residents. Next week, we will have Alston and Brienne Gaforifar, a brother and sister duo who are co-founders of Entify, a platform aimed at providing streamlined solutions with a focus on global sourcing, supply chain, and blockchain landscape with integrated AI technology. Alston holds 34 patents awarded by the U.S. Patent Office and serves as the lead inventor of Entify's intellectual property portfolio, covering a number of technical fields, including AI, communication, search, blockchain, cybersecurity, and data privacy. Brienne leads products and operations at Entify, setting a world record at the age of 17 as the youngest college graduate to raise $1 million in venture funding. That figure has since grown to more than $25 million. Brienne and her brother Alston co-founded the software company after investing 250,000 hours in advanced research and development, with more than 100 scientists and engineers contributing to its AI platform. Entify is serving enterprise customers across a number of industries, including financial services, healthcare, retail, and manufacturing. Entify's customers vary in size from small businesses to 100 billion plus dollar businesses on a US and global public companies. Brienne is also a published inventor with 12 patents awarded to her, also by the US Patent Office, and a key contributor to Entify's intellectual property portfolio. She has been covered by the international media, including Fast Company, CNN Money, Forbes, NBC, and the Huffington Post. We will see you all next week. Everybody, do not miss it. Thank you.